Hi, my name is Matt Carroll with World Class Coaching with the help of Academy Sports Coach 2025. I want to talk about a session that I've designed today for working on game situations. So what I'm going to be using today is the play, practice, play model that's taught by the USSF. If you take any of their courses, the EFD license, things like that. I think the E is just now a grassroots license. But so essentially what the ideology is that you're going to have the players come up, maybe warm up a little bit, but they'll play in game situations, maybe it's small side, maybe it's full field. You're going to take the situations, you're going to stop at teachable moments, talk to them about, what you're seeing, stop and focus on what the focus of the session is, practice, find specific game drills that are going to relate to that, what you want to focus on, and then play again at the end and try to see if there's a practice will be able to help with it. I think the ideology behind it, I don't speak for USF, but I think what I've gotten from the courses is the idea is that you're getting them active quickly, you're getting them on the ball, you're getting them to see the game. They're seeing the game live, what you're talking about, instead of diagramming it maybe or putting it up there on a video or whatever like that. They're playing, then you're picking out the things, and then you're playing again after you've told them how to fix a situation or solve the problem that you've addressed as your session. I'd love to hear in the comment section some of the things you guys have experienced with the play, practice, play model and how it's been effective for you. I've done it definitely in my younger groups. I found it pretty effective for my U8s, my U9s, U10s. But for the high school age group, we definitely haven't done it as much. We've done some sessions and modified things. And I think one of the major things I've heard from people talking about play, practice, play is the ideology that it doesn't fit into technical work and, the arguments about rondos and stuff like that. So I'd love to hear in the comment section, how you've have you utilized it or made changes to it, or you kind of modified it for your own sessions that you designed. So within this we're going to work on game situations. So teaching our players what to be doing and how to think. How many times have you had a player, you're up 1-0 and they run and get the ball and they throw it back in real quick, and I'm not talking about cheating or time wasting, but like gamesmanship of understanding where you're at, or a player selfishly tries to shoot from 30 yards out when you're up 1-0 and they go and counter and things like that. And just kind of recognizing what you're doing at, especially for the high school level where we're killing games and up 1-0 and 3 minutes left, or we're trying to make sure that we're not giving up silly opportunities when we're in a lead, or even that mentality of, hey, we're down and guys are walking to go get a ball out of bounds. So I'd start with a play model here. We're going to start in situations. We're going to start playing with the score 1-0. We're going to start playing with down a man, up 2-1, down 2-1. Whatever the situation you've seen your session, your games, or something you want to focus on. Maybe you're in overtime. Just getting them into that mindset. If you're going overtime, you have penalties at your level. Talk about what's going to happen if you go to penalties. It's a kind of crapshoot, or here's what we'll do. Here's how we'll line up, and have that mentality. You want to do as much as possible to create that situation, to make it as game-like as possible. You can have the guys that are on the subs, they can be yelling and screaming and pretend to be fans. You can make it fun like that. You can have music playing. But you want the players to be thinking, right now you're up you're down 1-0, whatever that situation you're trying to present is. And then what I have is, before we start any situation, I present the situation, we're up 2-1, we're down 1-0, whatever. And have them have maybe a 30-second to a minute, maybe 2 minutes if you really want to get into formations, but talk about what they need to do. Maybe if you have an assistant coach, you're with one team, the other team. I would advise, for this first part especially, you're not coaching them. You're listening to their observations and hearing how they plan to solve the problem. Hey, we're down a man. Here's the formation that we're going to set up. And then after, you can critique, like, hey, I saw you set up this way. You went with a 3-back here. Here's what this would have done. And you can implement your ideology into that, but allowing them the freedom to kind of think and design and plan. And see how they would attack is insightful, and also maybe you're like, oh, that's what they were thinking. Maybe that's a great idea, or maybe it explains to me more of what they, how they think about these situations and what they're thinking in that moment, and who's stepping up and saying these things. So now I would let them play for maybe 25 minutes. Where I'd go from there is then into a practice model. So now here we're maybe doing something where we are going into small-sided. So we'll go. This is in the way. Can't click this. All right. Maybe we're going half field, and we're doing a situation where we're going to have all the defenders here. Maybe a 6-2 here. So we'll go like a 6 before, or 65 or something like that, with a line that the attacking team or the defending team can't pass. So the attacking team is down numerically, right? Because we're simulating here a situation where the defense is in parking the bus. They're compact. They are very much trying to make it difficult for the attacking team to get a shot off. Maybe the yellow team is up 1-0, black team is down 1-0. So we're going to be a lot of possession. We're going to be a lot of movement. We're not really worried about losing the ball over here. Maybe just a little further back. But when we get into the box, we're going to see numbers up. We're going to see swarms of players trying to take the ball back. So black can move here. They can run in. They can do everything. But the yellow can't defend the ball until the ball passes the red cone here. So that's just an example. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do. But this would be a great one for teaching them the off-the-ball movement, being patient, we can move the ball as much as we want. They're not going to attack. They're going to play a very low block. We can switch here, see how that works. Maybe we have a player make a run in here. We find a gap in their defense, and we were able to play a shot in here, and we break down that line. So working on dealing with the frustration of the low block and how it affects us, and how we can work with that possession that we have to break down those defensive patterns that they have, the defensive lines, and see if we can get a goal from there. Some other things you can do is you can play the man down. You can have a small-sided 5v4, and just talk about how spacing is much more important, how to eliminate the numerical advantage with ball possession, quick 1-2 touches, and then you can award things for maybe it's every 3 passes completed by the team 4 gets a point, and every 5 by the team with 5 is a point. So you're giving them that advantage. You're making it a little more even. You're giving them certain things, but you're trying to recreate what you'd like to see in that situation in the drill. Hey, we're down a man. We can't hold on to the ball as much. There's not going to be as much support, so we're going to move the ball a little more quickly. Maybe that's something you want to see when you're down a man. When you're up, they're up. Maybe, hey, we're trying to spread out a little more, really work them. Use that space advantage that we have. So I want to see you guys using every single part of the pitch. So you should be able to complete more passes. You're just taking whatever the specific style of play you'd like to see in that situation, and you're trying to implement it and teach that. And then what we go from here is we go into the second part of our play, a third part of our play practice play, the play, and we get in and do situations. Here now, what I would say is when you're going into those and they're breaking away and they're doing the 1 to 2 minute talks and discussing what they want to see, how they're going to set their things up or what they're looking to play or how their play styles. Now you maybe want to inject a little bit more of, hey, so you want to do this. We just worked on this. How do you make these things mesh? How do you take the lessons we learned from the practice portion of the session and how we actually integrate that into our play? We want to move the ball fast. What formation will help us make sure that we have the support so we can do that? We want to play in this low block, but we're down a man and we're trying to kind of hold on. Should we put another center back up? Do we want to stop them before they're able to pass half, or do we want to pull an extra center back and just kind of heavily defend and make sure that they're not getting shots within the box and spread things out? And implement a little bit more what you're looking for. So you're integrating their concepts, the practice part of it, and then also your own tactical theory that you want to implement into the game. I think this would be a really fun session. It's a little challenging session. It really makes them think. There's parts where they can be frustrated, especially if they're the team that's down a man. They're doing drills and they're competitive. You see that a lot where it's like, oh, it's not fair. So, well, the game's not fair, and you're going to see stuff like that. We're just trying to recreate game situations. And then I would go from there and have the session, and you can end it there with just playing the situations and rotating them or one specific situation, or you can go and play 20 minutes of that, maybe a 10-minute game where the situations present themselves. And one team scores, and hey, how are you going to adjust and play it more naturally? There's a lot of flexibility in the session and a lot of movement for what you want to do. But I just think the concept gives you really a great way to talk to your players and address those things that you're going to see in the game that maybe aren't always addressed specific game situations. They might come up and talk about them, but here we get to sit and work on 5 or 6 in an entire session. So again, I'd love to hear some of your thoughts on the way you implement this practice play model into your own sessions. And once again, my name is Matt Carroll, World Class Coaching, the help of Academy Sports